Yes guys, as part of this session we are going to discuss about default properties of dimension and measure elements. You might be having some doubt, why is he going to talk about or why he is going to talk about these default properties of dimension element and measure element. Why? Because if you want to do any analysis that is going to depend upon dimension element as well as the measure element, right? So if you want to represent our analysis that is a fine-tuned data to any novice person, how we are going to represent that one? At workspace area or at the graph area we are going to form some shapes, right? Let me put that one. Think that you have you are having continents at the y-axis and cells at the x-axis. Okay, now here continents like Asia, Africa, all these things. Okay, like Asia, Africa, right? See, this Africa is having some amount of cells and this Asia is also having some amount of cells. How we are going to represent, how we are making the novice person analyze, or how we are making the novice person to feel it, how to make him to feel our analysis is very important, right? That's what Tableau was giving very good very good high properties as part of visual analytics, right? It is making or it is giving more options to us to use that visual analytics in effective way. Okay, that is what now. So we are going to see. So here you can just think over here, this is the dimension element, okay, and this is what measure element. I don't want to talk much about what is dimension element and measure element. We have, I made you guys understand in a great way as part of what in my earlier sessions. If you didn't get, you can you just go and brush them so that you can feel very comfort in it. Don't be fuzzy, okay? Whatever the things we are presenting in front of you guys are very valuable things. Okay, now just try to think the subject only in technical perspective. In real time these scenarios will be very fuzzy things, that is in developing RTS, that is real time system applications. Everything will be very different. You have to be very perfect in all the options, then you can feel that you are in position to develop your own dashboards, worksheets, everything based on the client requirement. It's very, very important. So now what we are doing here, so here to represent this one, that is at the graph area, okay, or at the workspace area, this is very, very important to us, because by just notifying or just seeing this particular area visual thing only, the novice person is going to understand the analyzed or fine-tuned data, right? So this part must and should be very effective. So how we can make that one as an effective one? So to get this one, which things we are taking, dimension element or measure element, right? So in how many ways we can make this one as an effective way? What are the options which are available to us to make this one as effective one? One thing can be as what? Shape, color, aliases. Instead of giving Asia, I want to give only A. Instead of Africa, I want to give only AF. I like this. It depends upon our requirement, right? Aliases, shapes, sort. I want to sort this one based how we can sort the strings. It's very important. If it is like numeric values, if it is ascending order, it will be from small to higher range. If it is like descending, a greater value to the or higher value to the lower value, descending. If it is like strings, how? That is based on the alphabets, that is alphabetical orders. If it is like ascending, means from A to EZ. If it is descending, means EZ to A. That is very, very important. How we can do that one? What are all the default properties available or given by Tableau to us for dimension element and for measure element? It's very, very important to us. We have to know, because tomorrow if you are doing any analysis, okay, in your organization, these things are going to help you a lot. Okay, now let me show why. Because we have to do all these things, how greatly they are going to impact us. It's very, very important to us. Now as part of these default properties, we are going to use one of the shells. Guys, how many types of shells are there? As part of my session in prior one, we have discussed in the naming conventions how many shells are there. It's very, very important. See, that naming conventions are going to help you a lot. Okay, try to analyze the subject. If you don't analyze the subject, that will be something like a fuzzy thing, no one will help you. Okay, try to analyze the subject and try to be your own guru. Okay, now let us go for that one. Now we are going to use one of the shelf here, which is how many shelves are there as part of our Tableau to us. We are having some 5 shelves. What are they? Columns, and other one is the rows, other one is pages, other one is filters, and other one is marks. We are going to discuss about these marks as part of this session. Okay, now let me take it off. Okay, I am just making you guys remember, just try to get it once. Okay, if you didn't get this one, and still I didn't discuss about these pages and filters. About filters we are going to talk, I'm going to make you guys understand in clear way. It's very, very important. Filters are going to help you a lot in your analysis. That is, if you are developing any reports as part of RTS, that is real time system applications, this is going to help you a great. Okay, now let me go for that one and show to you guys. So as part of this, we are going to discuss only marks shelf. Okay, let me talk about marks shelf. Why we are recommended to talk about a mark shelf means I will show you practically. I will show you, and later we are going to discuss about default properties one by one for each and every dimension element as well as the measure element. As part of the measure element, we are not having anything great there. Okay, it is something like a sum, which can be summed up. Okay, there we are not recommended to spend much time. If you understand one of the dimension element default properties, then same thing will get a repeat, so no need to spend much time. But here the topic is very, very, very important. You have to concentrate a lot. Okay, now let me go for that one. So this marks shelf means it is so important, guys. Earlier I have drawn one small graph to you, and I have shown that this is going to act as what? The analyzed visual thing, which helps us to make understand our analyzed or fine-tuned data to the novice person through some representations, right? Like histogram thing, like lines, everything. We are having some n number of varieties of charts, right? We are not going to represent that by using any numeric, that is by discrete values. We are going to represent that by using continuous thing, that is by using one of the shapes, that is one of the graphs, right? It's very important. So this is going to be an effective consideration to us, right? Now, so think that here we are having some histograms, okay, like this. Okay, for Asia it is like that, and for Africa and for Europe. Okay, and here we are having sales. Over this x-axis we are having some numeric values, let it be. Okay, try to assume, guys, it is not the exact one. Now think that at each and every histogram I want to enable what? The sales value. I know that sales value was, sales for Africa was 22, let it be as 22, and for Asia let it be as 11. Okay, and for Europe let it be as 9. It's very, very important. Being as a technical person, I know that Europe is 9, Africa sales was 22, Asia is 11. But for a novice person, how we can tell that one? In easier way, it is so simple. What we have to do here is we have to represent this Asia sales at this histogram representation as 11, and this one as 22, and this one as 9. That is very, very important to us. It is going to act as a very key part in our analysis things. Okay, now instead of being as a technical person, you know this value, for novice person we have to put this one. So marks, that is, it is going to act as an automatic reflection thing, that is whatever the impacts you are going to perform on a particular dimension element or on the measure element. Guys, this statement is very important, try to focus this one. Whatever the impact I am going to perform for a particular dimension element and for the measure element, that is going to reflect immediately at workspace. If I impact those impacts, if those impacts are taking part of these marks, here it's very, very important. Think that we are having continent as part of this dimension element only. We are having what? Asia, Africa, each and everything. Here I did some impacts, meaning that I want to make this particular effective area still some more effective. Okay, so I have done some impact here. So in order to reflect those things at these effective or at this graph area, what I have to do here is I want to tell to the Tableau you have to reflect all this impactness which I am going to perform to particular dimension element or for the measure element immediately. How we have to inform to the Tableau? So Tableau was having a command on this marks shelf. So now whatever the thing I impacted over dimension element, that must and should get informed to the mark shelf. So here we'll be having some other options. So let me put some brief idea, and this is the good area for us to discuss about this mark shelf. Okay, now here we'll be having a size option, and other one is the label option. Okay, and other one is the tooltip. By default it will be enabled, no need to worry. And other one is the detail one. Okay, now after detail we are having one more important option, that is color, guys. It's very important. Okay, so how we are going to represent these things means size means with this representation you try to even notify or try to make notice of those symbols also. It is going to help you a great. Don't think that why this fellow is taking asking we guys to even remember those symbols. It's going to help you a lot. If you don't you can feel it if you just remember those things. I don't want to talk much on this. Okay, now if it is like labels, if it is dimension element, so for that at this particular what we call this one effective area representation of the continent with respect to the cells, right? So here I want to put Asia, okay, and here if I want to put Africa, and here I want to put Europe, right? So what things we have to do? It's so simple, guys. It will be like in ABC or 1 2 3. So if I drag this continent and if I put at these labels, these Asia, Africa, Europe things you can just view. It's very important, guys. Okay, try to understand this one. And we are having at measures area sales. Okay, and if I want to represent all this 11, 22, 9 at workspace area or at graph area, I want to select this one and I have to drop this one at mark shelf at label. So here we are having 1 2 3, that is numeric values also is going to get reflect if you are going to impact this measure element at data window. Whatever the things which you are going to impact at data window, if you want to see those impactness as a reflection at workspace or at the graph area, what you have to do, right? You have to intimate to the Tableau. How we are going to intimate that to the Tableau? It's very important. You have to select and we have to drop that one at the labels area, so that she is going to understand and she is going to display the particular impacted reflection at workspace area at graph area. Try to understand this one, guys. It's very important. Now this thing happen. And what about this color? It will be having the shape as in this format. Okay, color. So as I said here, it is a visual area, a workspace area, a graph area, which is very important. Through this only we are making novice person to analyze or to understand the analyzed data which was done by the technical team or by the development team. Okay, now to make this one as an easy understand to those persons, what we are going to do, think that the sales, that is a continent which is having the sales greater than 20 must and should be as green. Other all the continents which are having the sales which is less than 20 must and should be in red color. So how we can do that one? By using this color option of marks shelf. For that, what you have to do here, I am talking about the continent, right? Continent which is having the sales greater than 20 must and should be appear in color green. If it is less than, it should be appear in which color? They must and should appear in which color, guys? It must they must and should be in red color. So how we can optimize this one? Through this one only. Or else if you want to, okay, let it be whatever I have spelled now, it is not going to be work as part of this session, because still we have to go for other options like parameters. All these things are there. At the time of discussing or making you guys understand about calculated field and parameters. That is the real heart of Tableau, guys. If you guys understand these filters, calculated fields and parameters, sets, grouping, that's it. You can feel very comfort in Tableau desktop, not only in Tableau desktop component, in other things also, because the server, all these things are just like the options. Even you can understand them within hours. I don't want to stress much about all those things. Okay, now let me go for this one. It's very important. Try to focus now. For Asia, I want to give a color green. For Africa, I want to give a color blue. For Europe, I want to give a color red. So how I can do that one? It is so simple. You have to apply, you have to do some impactness at continents dimension element. Okay, you have done some impacts here. Okay, you have done some impacts here. You have done them, and you have to intimate to the Tableau to reflect those impacted things at which area, at graph area or at workspace. How we can intimate to her? We have to drag and put this one at colors option, so that it is going to impact that one immediately. That is very important, guys. Okay, it is very important. Now what is this size means? See, think that I want to make this one in broader histogram, and this one some thicker, and this one a light thicker. Okay, this one some thicker, guys, try to understand, and this one light thicker. So for that, what I am going to do, that is the cells, cells should get in descending order. The shape must and should be in descending order. Okay, it should be like this, and other one should be in this way. That is the width, that is the broaderness of the histogram must and should get degrees. Let me put that one, so I don't want you guys to get confused. Let me put this one like this. Okay, and the next one should be some thicker, and other one is like this. You can just observe here the border of that particular histogram is getting reduced. Okay, it is in descending order. In that way, if I want to represent the particular continent's cells, what I have to do, I have to select these cells. That is, I have to select this continent, and I have to put that one at mark shelves size area. So it is going to give some reflections for our impactedness at the dimension element. It is very important, guys. Try to focus. Okay, doing this at Tableau is very easy, but understanding all these behaviors is very difficult, and you have to use your brains. Without using brain, you cannot do it. You have to be well matured. Okay, now what is these details means? It is having some other behavior, and as part of this, it is not that important to us. If you find time, I'm just giving that option to you. You just update in it. Okay, and coming to the tool, that is the tool tip. Sorry, guys, it is the tool tip. Okay, so it is by default enabled, because whatever at mark shelves are going to get enabled by default. Those will have automatic reflections, but you have to intimate to the whom? To the Tableau desktop. If it is like a customized one, if it is like a by default one, we are not required to intimate to the whom? To the Tableau desktop. It is going to give the reflections of this impactedness automatically. So how those are going to get reflect, all these things we are going to see in detail. No need to worry. And I think about this mark shelf you get to understand, right? And one more option is there as part of this mark shelf. I didn't discuss it. Here we'll be having n number of visual representations. Guys, it's very important. You can represent all these visual things in histogram. Okay, another one is in line, another one is polygon, another one is in shapes, different things. We are having some multiple options. So instead of representing this analyze fine-tune data in histogram, I can represent that with shapes. In shapes we are having, it's very important, guys. In shapes we are having n number of options, that is star, and another one is circle, square, many things are there. No need to discuss about them as a novice person. Okay, but we have to know how to use them as a technical person. It's very important. Now, So as part of this one, we are having an options like histogram, line, polygon and shape. Now I am going to talk about here one special option, that is one special option is available to us, how it is going to perform as part of this Tableau desktop. It's very important. Now let me put that one is automatic. If this option was get select as part of this marks shelf, think that here we are having automatic. It's very important, guys. If it is like that, the Tableau will perform some analysis. Okay, no, we are going to perform some analysis. Through that analysis, how the Tableau is going to represent the analyzed data in the visual, at workspace, how she was going to, or how she is going to represent those things are very important to us. So how she is going to do that means she is going to by default take some default properties. At the maximum she is going to take only two shapes, that is two representations. One is line and other one is the histogram. And all these things are customizing things. You have to select these things, guys. It is based on your requirement. Okay, she is going to take, or she is going to represent those analyzed data based on some representations. Those are what? One is the histogram, other one is the line. It is very important, guys. You have to remember this one. When these two things are going to get, honestly speaking, if you do select any date dimension elements, then this line representation at workspace is going to get reflect. And make sure that the option is like automatic. Okay, yes, guys. So if we do select automatic as part of this mark shelf, we will be having some default representations by the Tableau, that is histogram, and other one is the line. Guys, I'm sorry, it is not a histogram. I'm sorry for this, excuse me. It is not histogram, it is bar. But honestly, it is going to represent as part, in the histogram, in histogram itself, but it is bar. That is the option available as part of this particular option of the marks shelf. Okay, it is not histogram. Okay, but it will be in histogram only at representation area. It is like bar. Okay, the most default thing, or by automatically it is going to consider for our analyzed fine-tuned data is two representation, that is one is bar and other thing is the line. When this bar representation will go, other than the date dimension elements are there, for that it is going to consider which one, that is the bar representation. At work area we will be having horizontal, that is histogram representations. Okay, try to understand this one. Now this is for this mark shelf, and now let me go for, this is the prerequisite for this default properties. Now let me go for which thing, that is the default properties of the dimension element. Before going to that dimension elements default properties, let us see how many dimension elements are there to us. It's very important to us. Now let me take it off, guys. Try to concentrate, it's very important to us. Okay, so now the actual concept is going to get started. Try to focus. Okay, doing practical things is very easy if you do understand all these technical things.